Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today, and thank you for joining me in Pootles Advent Countdown. This is my seasonal series. There's 24 projects that are going to be shared with you here on YouTube between now and December, and this is one of them. And this is a big bag box, but it's got extra decoration because it's a big bag. It's got a little peeping little extra trim there, a little bit there, and it closes with a magnet, and it opens like that, so it's pretty huge, pretty massive. And I'm going to show you how to put the poinsettia together as well. Love the paper. This is the season of cheer, and I'm going to use the same paper but the opposite way round, so you just get to see the reflection of it basically. So your piece of paper measures 12 by 12 inches, so 30.5 by 30.5 centimetres. And the first scoring comes at, and I will give you all of the imperial measurements first and then follow it with the metric. Don't worry about writing it down. It's all going to be on my blog. And I've just moved my paper, which guides me. There we go. I use the grid paper as a guide so that I know that you can see. I've done it again. That I know that you can see what I can see. Okay, so the first score line comes at 3.5 inches, 5 3/4, 9 1/4, and 11.5 inches. And in metric that is 9, 14.5, 23.5 and 29 centimetres. Before we turn it, we're going to make a little score line, which is how we're going to know where to cut to create this little piece here. So just a little mark rather, at 4 5/8 of an inch and at 10 3/8 of an inch, which in metric is 11.75 and 26.25 centimetres. Then turn it so that your little marked lines go to the right, because that's going to be the top, and score it this time at 2 1/4, 9 inches, and then turn it over to score on the opposite side at 11. And I will bring it back to show you in metric. So 5.5 centimetres, 21.5 centimetres, turn it over and score it at 25.5 centimetres. Okay, so leaving that wrong way round one till last, I'm going to fold my score lines. I love this paper, isn't it rich and lush and just, yeah, rich and decadent, I think is kind of how I would describe it. I have to admit, when I first saw the papers I thought, oh yeah, they're a little bit vintage for me, but actually the more I've worked with them, the more I've got used to them. There are one or two that, you know, aren't right up my street, but as I've said many times, if I like half a pack of paper, I will buy it, because I just don't use the bit I don't like and use the other side instead. Fortunately, I love the majority of this now. So okay, so we're looking for the single horizontal score line that's on its own. I think you can probably see it better. That's the bottom of the box. And these two here that go in opposite directions, that's the top. So fold up the bottom one first. And then fold over this one that is going to fold in the same direction. And then bring this one back, which doesn't look at all straight. Oh, I know why. Just wiggled it slightly. Okay. There we go. Right. So the bits to cut. So this is the bottom and the top of the box. Come down and start at the bottom first. Cut away the skinny rectangular part, because we don't need that. And then cut straight up those lines. Okay. And then where we made these little marks before, I really don't know how well you're going to see that. Shall I bring it up? No, that's probably not focused at all. I've got a skinny, I've made my little mark there, and it's exactly halfway between those 2 points there, and I'm going to cut in a straight line from there to there. Do you know what? I'm really dim sometimes. I put the mark in the wrong place. It's meant to be on that score line. Oh, there you go. That's where it's meant to be, because you're meant to cut from there down to get the point. Otherwise it wouldn't be a point at all. Is that right? You know, my brain hurts sometimes. It really does. Okay, so let's establish where the back of the box is going to be. This score line here is going to come around, sorry, this loose edge here is going to come around. I know that this panel here, this one, is what's going to come round and fold over, so I know I need to keep that. But I know I can get rid of the other one that is the same size. So if I quickly sort of mock fold it together. Okay, so that one is the one that's going to fold over and sit like that. Now these parts here, oh, do you know what? I was right the first time. Cut from this part straight down to there. Seriously, I'd be dangerous sometimes if my brain switched on correctly. Honestly, it would be dangerous. So I was correct the first time. Ignore me, ignore that little, you know, blippy bit there. So, straight down to that, and we can actually get rid of this bit too. Oh, the life of a crafter. So these bits are going to come down on the side, and they are what's going to peep through. So let's just stick them down before I change my mind again. Let's get them stuck down. There we go. All stuck down. With runaway adhesive. This panel also needs to be stuck down, but we don't want to do it, we only want to do the edges, because I need to get a magnet in there. Okay. So we've got the whole adhesive thing going on nicely. So that's all going to close around. You need adhesive down your loose edge. I'm just going to swap into my fuse now. Do you know what? I think I've made this project look so much more complicated than it actually is. It's really not complicated at all. Probably not helped by a slightly crazed pattern going on, that's possibly giving you brain ache. Fold in the sides. That's going to be the front, because I'm going to leave that last. Pop in that bit, and some adhesive along there to close up the base of the box, and you can see what is beginning to come together. So push in the sides, use your finger to help. Okay, and because there is this double layer here, you do need to, you know, give it a little bit of oomph and fold over the top. And so that is how the box is going to come together. So I'm going to very quickly put my magnets together. And I've got my neodymium. I've talked about these many times before. Guys magnets on eBay, international eBay seller. I use 8mm by 1mm, but you could use a varying sizes. Doesn't really matter. And I'm going to use one of these bits that I cut off before. I'm going to use my 1/2 inch circle punch, and I want it to sort of fade into there. And first things first, I'm going to get one of them, and I'm going to take a mini glue dot, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it inside this little part here. So that is inside, so that's kind of made it not quite as strong. I'm going to allow my magnets to snap together. A mini glue dot on there. Position it and gently release. Now I'm going to push this down quite forcefully because these are so strong. And then this circle that I popped out, I'm going to put that over there, and that, like I say, it takes a little bit of the strength out of the magnets because they are so strong. So that is really the box done, the bag done. Very cute. Got this little peeping extra bit, but I wanted to show you how to put the poinsettia together, and you need the special punch for it, which is this one. To create one like I did, you need 4 punch outs for the outer leaves and 2 for the centre. So you know what, we'll just punch it 4 times. It's just, life's too short to stress about angling and getting your central layers and what have you. So we'll take it 4 times. And the way I have found best of all to work is to select my largest ones and pop them off to one side. Then my middle ones, don't need those centre bits, don't need that bit. So I now have all of the layers I need. Just going to bend with my thumbnails and just shape them really. And actually, quite possibly, yeah, I probably could use those 2 to form the back. I'll grab one of them because actually last time I sort of stuck it all together. So, okay, we'll have one of these and we'll just blob some adhesive on there. And taking your largest flower straight over the top of it to cover it up. And that's the base part done. You know what? This would have made life so much easier. First time round I made this, I just stuck it loose on glue dots. Oh, learning on camera. Okay. And sticking yourself to stuff on camera. Okay, so that's the bottom. This is the underside. So we're building it from the ground up really. Okay. A couple more big ones. Go over there, and then these smaller ones you just offset them really. It's really is up to you how you build, you know, whether you do lots and lots of layers or just a couple of layers. My mum always has a poinsettia in the house at Christmas, so I might take a peek at hers and see how many layers she's got, or when, you know, obviously when she gets one. My layers building. I did cherry cobbler last time. I'm not really sure why I've done real red this time. Oops, wrong colour. And then just offset it again. And if you want to, you could punch out those centre bits in white or yellow. I actually like the large metal rimmed embellishments. I think they're very pretty inside. And one of those into the centre there. And then we're just going to have a whole load of glue on the back of this. And that will stick to your box happily. And apparently your fingers. Without any issue whatsoever. That's rather nice. And I'm happy with that. And it's taken me a little bit longer than normal. I've made it look complicated, but I promise you it's not. It's really easy to make the bag. I just confuse myself sometimes. Anyway, what do you think? I hope you like it. I hope you'll maybe make some poinsettias too. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I shall speak to you very soon. Bye.